So I put out a poll very recently, basically asking which class you guys would like to see get a build next, and the top choice came out to Warlocks. The problem with this is that I have multiple builds for the other classes, which none include Warlock. So I'm going to do a Hunter one today, and my next video will be a Warlock build. And so my name is ERATTIC, and today I am going to be showing off my Liar's Handshake build for the Hunters. Remember, if you see anything you like in today's video, then please be sure to hit the like and subscribe for more. We are currently at 538 subscribers, which is amazing, but I'm looking to see if we can hit that big goal of 1,000 subscribers. I'm hoping you'll be the one that gets me there. So today I will be breaking down the Liar's Handshake build that I have made for the Arc Hunters in PvE. Remember, this is not the be-all end-all for this particular build, meaning that if you find something equally as good, if not better than what I've got for today, then that's great. Perhaps leave it in the comments for me and the rest of us to know about. But if you're looking for similar results as to what I'm doing in this video, then I suggest you pay close attention as to what I'm using. However, I also recommend you use this build guide as a template and refine it to your personal needs. The guide will be broken down into the subclass with its aspects, abilities and fragments, then overall stats, then the armor with the mods, then the weapons of choice, and finally how the build works and recommendations. So be sure to check all the timecodes in the description of this video if you're looking for something in particular. Okay, so starting with the subclass, and the super I am using is Gathering Storm. Hurl your arc staff forward, embedding it into surfaces or large targets and jolting nearby targets. After a short time, a devastating lightning bolt strikes the staff, overcharging it with arc energy. While overcharged, your staff discharges lightning at nearby foes. For my abilities, I am using Gambler's Dodge, Triple Jump, Combination Blow is needed for this to work effectively, and either Storm Grenade or Flux Grenade, which is usually the one I prefer. For my aspects, I am using Lethal Current. After dodging, your next melee attack has increased lunge range, jolts the target and creates a damaging aftershock. Damaging any jolted target with melee attacks also blind them. And I'm also using Flow State. Defeating a jolted target makes you amplified. While you are amplified, your dodge recharges more quickly. You are more resilient while dodging, and your reload speed is greatly increased. For my fragments, I am using Spark of Feedback. Taking melee damage briefly increases your outgoing melee damage. This also offers plus 10 resilience. I am using Spark of Recharge. While critically wounded, your melee and grenade energy regenerates more quickly. I am using Spark of Beacons. While you are amplified, your arc special weapon final blows create a blinding explosion. And finally, I'm using Spark of Resistance. While surrounded by combatants, you are more resistant to incoming damage. This gives me plus 10 strength. Looking at the overall stats now, and mine aren't particularly great, but you should try and focus on the top 3, as you are able to generate your abilities very quick through refreshes and general gameplay through your fragments, and the top 3 will help you also improve your survivability in some way. Looking at the armor with the mods now, and starting with the helmet, I am using Bottomless Bounty 2. Improves the effect of the Soul Drinker and Hot Swap weapon origin perks. I'm using Hands On, which gains bonus energy on super melee kills. And then I'm using Font of Might. Picking up Elemental Well that matches your subclass energy type grants a temporary bonus to weapon damage of that same elemental type. On the arms, I am using the exotic gauntlets Liar's Handshake, which comes with the exotic perk Cross Counter. Using your arc melee ability or being hit by a melee attack will allow you to follow up with an extremely powerful melee counterpunch that will heal you. For the mods on the arms, I am using Fastball, which increases my grenade throw distance, and then I'm using Well of Ions. Picking up an arc elemental well causes your next melee to deal increased damage. For the chest, I am using Thermoshock Plating, which reduces my incoming solar damage and my arc damage from combatants. I'm also using melee damage resistance, which will help me reduce my incoming damage from combatants that are at point blank range. And then finally on there, I'm using Melee Wellmaker, which helps my powered melee combatant final blows spawn elemental wells matching your subclass energy type. For the legs, I am using Recuperation, which replenishes my health each time I pick up an Orb of Power. I'm using Absolution, which reduces all ability cooldowns each time I pick up an Orb of Power. And then I have Bountiful Wells. Elemental Well mods that cause you to spawn elemental wells can now stack, spawning additional wells for each additional copy copy of the mod you have equipped. And then finally for the class item, I am using Amped Up, which helps me purely stay amplified for longer, and Thunderous Retort. Grants bonus arc super damage if cast while critically wounded or while amplified. Lasts until the end of the super activation. For the weapons of choice, I am using mainly Trinity Ghoul for its S tier class performance for ad clearing and giving me that ranged combat I'm missing in my build. I like to use Heritage as I never really have to reload with the perk combination that I have going, and I like using the Taipan because of the meta where linear fusion rifles stand for pure damage. However, I recommend using whatever you need to get through certain bits of content the easiest. Okay, so now I'm going into the Preservation Weekly mission to show off clearer how the build rotation works. And to get the most value out of this build, you'll want to play quite aggressively close up. So using our melee, we will be able to make a couple arc wells giving us damage for our melee and arc weapons. We will also be able to start stacking our combination blow up to 3 times, every time we get a kill with our melee, giving us the most damage from it being charged. The way we keep getting it back is by using our Gambler's Dodge to refresh the melee so we can keep our damage on the melee up, whilst through the aspect, jolting our targets we hit with it doing also a small AoE explosion. Getting these rapid arc kills through our melee and weapons will make us amplified quickly and have a long general uptime due to our playstyle here. And being amplified is going to make the super do immensely more damage. Finally, onto the recommendations and what I think about the build. So after the 3.0 arc rework specifically for the Hunter, I feel much better about playing this kind of build because of the extra utility that's been put in place, such as being amplified and the new super giving arc hunters that PvE option. I feel like you don't always get cross counters damage from the gloves, but the health regen is still nice, which makes this build very stable. I would say this is good, but until I come across master raids and GMs in the season, this probably won't be on for too much longer. But in the meantime, doing strikes, gambits, and things like traditional raids, those sorts of pieces of content make this build very viable. Anyway, that's it for this video, so if you've stuck around to the end of the video, you are truly awesome, and I'll catch you all in the next one.